This segment of Founders and Visionaries is brought to you by Gouvea's and Purity Foods.
So your official titles are President and Vice President of Gouvea's and Purity Foods, but your staff has other nicknames for you, I hear.
Yes. He's Sausage King and I'm Weenie Boy.
They say with a smile. Well, I can already tell you guys have a lot of fun doing what you're doing. Gouvea's especially is a name that goes back a long way in Hawaii. How did you end up in this partnership and got to this point?
Actually, I was the neighbors of the Gouveas. We lived in Waimanalo, and we became very close friends. And they were going through a transition with the children from the generations of owning it. And they asked me to take a look at it and consult with them. And in turn, I went and bought the company and turned it around. And Scott called me up and basically asked me, hey, what do you think about putting the two companies together?
Scott, how about you? You said you always knew you'd be the Portuguese sausage guy someday growing up?
King.
The king.
No, I grew up in the business. It's all I ever wanted to do, and I had the opportunity to buy out the family in '97. My grandfather and I were best friends. He had a rough time with his business in the early '90s. We had probably 10 years together, where after I bought the company, he wanted to work as long as he could. And so I'd pick him up every morning, take him to work, and take him to lunch, and take him home afterwards. And we were best friends. It was special.
It's awesome. He was probably very proud that he had somebody who took an interest in carrying on the business. Were you ready to run your own company?
I think it was mostly desire and ambition. I didn't know what I was doing, but I just wanted to go for it.
Now you have a 5-year-old son?
Yes.
And do you think someday he'll follow in your footsteps? Too soon to tell?
I truly believe, because I have a lot of cousins and sisters, to run a business is a real commitment, and it takes a lot of work to do a good job. And for my 5-year-old, I'm very clear, he's got to be passionate about what he does, and he's got to love what he does. And if he's passionate about the sausage business, he'll have the opportunity. If he's not passionate about it and it's not exactly for him, I will encourage him to do what he wants. So.
Now, when did you start having the idea of maybe coming together with Gouvea's?
With the cost of doing business, it's just more efficient to work together than to work apart.
We figured, why bang heads against each other? We can go out there together, we can get the economies of scale.
But that's a unique concept that you don't see that often, is two competitors coming together amicably to say, let's just both be more profitable together.
We have real loyal customers to the Gouvea's brand, real loyal customers to the Purity brand. By merging, we're able to provide higher quality at a lower cost.
What really makes you excited about this company and what you do?
I think it makes me excited. I came in later in life. I was a supply and office furniture salesperson, and now I'm selling sausage. It's staying true to the tradition. Whenever you ask anybody what kind of Portuguese sausage do they prefer, and Scott and I always have contests where they say whether it's Gouvea or Purities. People have grown up with this Portuguese sausage. Our customers are excited about the product, and we want to stay as true as we can. And you see the excitement with people, and it's nice to go out there and say, hey, what do you do for a living? Well, I say Portuguese sausage, and their eyes light up, and what Portuguese sausage is it? And fortunately for us, 8 times out of 10, they will say one of our brands. We have like 5 different brands of sausage, so we have a pretty good chance of them saying ours.
So Scott, what gets you excited, keeps you excited about what you do?
Ever since the merger, it's been easier for me to just focus on product quality and coming out with new products. So my excitement now is all about the piggy pups. It's doing really well.
And that's the Hawaiian sweetbread around the Portuguese sausage.
Hawaiian sweetbread, wrapped Portuguese sausage. And we've got the child nutrition approvals for it, so we're hoping that we can get into the schools as well.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah. 45 seconds in the microwave and it's hot and steamy. So
Juicy.
It's juicy.
Yet it is still a little funny to hear you say I'm really fired up about piggy pups, but I get where you're going with that. And a lot of people might not realize you have a lot of sort of ready-to-eat meal offerings as well.
Yes, we came out with the Gouvea Panioli barbecue line. It's pulled chicken, pulled pork, and pulled beef. That's another thing that happened with the merger. We were able to expand our lines, and that's what we're looking at in the future.
We definitely want to expand our product line and keep growing the business, and we're thrilled, and a lot of it's due to the new items, and so we want to keep pushing ahead.
Bill, what's the secret of good Portuguese sausage?
It's mind-boggling how much Portuguese sausage we sell in Hawaii. We really think that the main ingredient for making the best Portuguese sausage is using fresh meat. And then we're manufacturing on the mainland now, enable us to use fresh meat in our process, and that makes it, your Portuguese sausage is going to be a lot more fresh. So we think that's the #1 reason. We try to make selling Portuguese sausage fun. All of our employees are having a good time, and we want to keep them happy, and basically just watching over our quality control. It's a never-ending task to make sure that the stuff comes out really, really good.
So everything goes through the metal detector. Inside this little card is a tiny, tiny little speck of metal. So we'll throw it next to the package, and we'll see if the machine's working properly, kicking out all the metal pieces.
Because there are other companies in town also making Portuguese sausage, when you sample yours and compare them with others, what types of things are you looking for your product to be better in?
Like if you have a great steak, all you need is salt and pepper. And it's very similar with sausage. The spices are important, but you wouldn't think this, but the texture is really important. So if you look at our sausages, you can see the chunks of meat, and that's not typical to some of our competitors. But the texture is what we focus on most, because it has to be juicy to taste the flavor, and then we just stay true to the flavor profile that it's always been.
As you expand and grow, would you ever consider moving your company to the mainland?
I don't think we would. I think we do 80% of our volume here. Even though we want to expand on the mainland, there's no reason for us to go there. We do use a network of manufacturer representatives over there. Plus, neither one of us want to move to the mainland. So I think we're pretty sure we're going to stay here for a really long time.
Going to college on the mainland was enough, and home sweet home is fabulous. Hawaii is just such a special place. We're lucky.
So where do you both want to be 10 years from now?
I want to be in front of his house on a stand-up paddleboard, surfing every day. Maybe going fishing in Kaneohe, but I don't know about Scott.
Sounds good to me.
It's kind of fun because we do both enjoy the same activities. So we like to surf and fish and be outdoors especially. So it works out really good. It's been a great partnership so far.